Hey, talk about basing your shop out of Nashville, not being in one of the financial hubs. I know many other trend following traders have elected to be in unique locations as well. So you're not necessarily original there, but I'm curious your experience and being in a smaller mid-sized city to set up shop versus going to a New York City or a London. You clearly could be anywhere you want, but you choose Nashville.
Well, we lived in Nashville when we founded the company, so there wasn't really any grand design. Ultimately, that has made building a business quite a bit more difficult. We definitely would be managing more money now if we had picked up and moved to, there's a high likelihood we would be managing more money now if we picked up and moved to New York the first day we founded the firm.
But what drives you? You could go there today. So what drives you? Clearly you're having a lot of success now, but what drives you to stay? Is it almost like an internal bet? You're like, well, you know what? We've done pretty good so far. We've done pretty good so far. We're going to stay in Nashville and turn it into a multi-billion-dollar fund. What drives you?
I don't know that we're ever going to be a multi-billion-dollar fund, and we stay in Nashville because that's, now I live outside of Chicago, so we have two offices, one in Chicago and one in Nashville. But the headquarters stays in Nashville because that's where we live, and that's where my business partner's family is, and that's where his life is. And the point of having a business is for you to use the business to enhance your own existence, not the business to use you. And so if we manage $500 million instead of $1 billion, we're going to still do okay. Our goal has never been to be the biggest manager. It's always been to be the best manager. Those two things don't always correlate. Some of the very big managers are quite good. Some really aren't that great.
How do you are you defining best as biggest returns?
Oh, I think you have to have some method of risk adjustment to that. I'm not a big fan of the standard volatility risk adjustment, but I think when you look at the returns, there has to be some measure of whether it's downside volatility or worse drawdown. One we like to use a lot when we're testing things is average drawdown. So, over a given time frame, we might say, over 10 years, let's look at the average of the worst five worst drawdowns or something like that. So we can get an idea of, in a typical year, in a typical period, what kind of losses do you have to endure to get those gains? So I think if you're looking at some kind of return, you have to have some risk divisor in there.